there's a major difference between the two ways your brain thinks. And if you're relying on the wrong one, your brain might be tricking you without you even realizing. Let me show you what I mean. A bat and a ball cost $1.10 in total. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? If you said 10 cents, that's the intuitive answer, and it's wrong. That's your fast, automatic thinking at work, and it feels right, but it isn't. This example comes from Nobel Prize-winning psychologist Daniel Kahneman, who popularized that we have two systems of thinking, one fast, intuitive, and automatic, and the other one slow, conscious, and deliberate. And the difference between people who stay reactive and people who stay in control often comes down to which of the two systems they choose to use in that very moment. And most of us, we don't need to learn how to think. We need to stop defaulting to the automatic thinking system one. And in this video, I'm going to show you a very practical way to deliberately activate System 2 thinking so you can take control of your decisions and your emotions and thus your results. So most of your daily decisions aren't carefully thought through. They're based on heuristics. These are mental shortcuts our brain likes to take to save time and energy. So heuristics in themselves, they aren't bad. They're here to help you move quickly and survive and function when a saber-toothed tiger is going after you. But they distort reality when things get complex, say in a project meeting where the deadline is close but important parts have not been delivered on time. So some of these shortcuts you might have heard about, like the confirmation bias, where you only look for evidence that confirms what you already know and believe, or emotional reasoning, where your brain reasons that if you feel it strongly, it must be true. Or the availability bias. If something comes to mind easily for you, your brain assumes it's common and important. And anchoring, where the first number or idea you hear shapes your judgment more than you're aware of. And here's the problem. System 1 feels certain, it feels true and obvious, and thus must be correct. And that's why the bat and the ball example works so well. You're not stupid, your brain was just reacting fast, and it went for the answer that looked about right in that moment. And the danger isn't thinking quickly, it is thinking quickly and assuming that it must be right. And that is something most of us don't realize. It's not just our thinking that determines our decision. It's the environment our thinking is shaped in. So if you want to see whether your decision environment is helping you think clearly or if it is quietly degrading your thinking, I've put a free decision environment assessment in the description below. It takes just a few minutes and it will show you where cognitive load or overload might be affecting your judgment. So you have to catch the autopilot moment, and that split second where you're about to react, where you're about to send the message or make the purchase or snap back in an argument, where you say yes too quickly or no too quickly. That's the moment that matters, because that's where you either stay in System 1 or you deliberately switch to System 2. And this is where the stop method comes in. And this method comes from goal management training, and that's a method that was originally developed for patients with traumatic brain injury. And it's deceptively simple. Stop gives you a way to interrupt System 1 and bring System 2 back online. So S, stop, either say it out loud or in your head, both works well for me. This interrupts the automatic chain or pattern just for a second or two. Next, T, think. Ask yourself, what am I doing right now? And what is the main goal or outcome that I really want to achieve right now? So in simple terms, this is, where am I and where do I want to go to? Do I really want to clean out my email inbox right now instead of working on that very uncomfortable part of the project or project presentation? Do I really want to vent my frustration in the team meeting or take a step back and see how can I get the other ones to help me fix this? If my desired goal is to get this project completed successfully, then I need to align my actions. And instead of following system 1 into the very wrong rabbit hole, the next step is organize. Break the main goal into smaller, manageable sub-goals or step-by-step actions. The little goal-directed actions that are doable and that bring you closer and that give you that feeling of real progress. Not, I need to be more productive. This is way too vague and our brain doesn't like that. Instead, do something like write the email to Karen from HR, reread it after lunch, send the email to Karen, or look at the project plan, read the first page, highlight what seems off, and make one correction. So these small steps matter because they reduce the emotional weight of the task. They give your brain a clearer path forward and they help you move from passive thinking, automatic thinking, into small, doable, goal-directed actions. And Wang and Milyavskaya 2019 found that goal-directed action and goal progress are linked to better mood and lower anxiety. And that makes sense because when you take a meaningful step, even a small one, you're no longer just sitting inside the problem. You're actively doing something that moves you forward. So now you go for P, proceed, with a big difference because now you're not acting automatically. You have interrupted the impulse system 1 and you have brought a real goal back into your awareness. You have organized the next step, and now you have the power to deliberately choose your response. And here's what's so powerful about it. System 2 doesn't activate automatically. You activate it intentionally. And stop gives you a way to interrupt automatic thinking and bring System 2 back online. Most people believe they're thinking clearly, but a lot of the time they're reacting from habit, pressure, emotion, or cognitive load. You don't need a new brain. You need to understand the one you already have. Notice when it has slipped into autopilot and give yourself a way back into deliberate thinking. And that is how you move from reactive to intentional.